In a world where political leaders are often viewed as paragons of virtue or, at worst, villains driven by self-interest, there exists a singular work that dares to challenge conventional wisdom. A work that boldly asserts that, in the realm of power, morality and ethics are secondary to the raw realities of survival and control. This book is Niccolò Machiavelli's The Prince, a text so provocative that it has inspired both admiration and disdain across centuries. As we navigate the complex web of politics today, characterized by manipulation, cunning strategies, and moral compromises, Machiavelli's insights seem not only relevant but eerily prescient. Was Machiavelli a ruthless advocate of power at any cost, or was he simply a realist trying to navigate the murky waters of Renaissance politics? Today, we'll dive deep into The Prince, examining Machiavelli's stark, pragmatic view of politics. We'll explore his notions of power, leadership, and the human condition, insights that still shape the way we perceive political leadership in the modern age. But more importantly, we'll ask, what does Machiavelli's realism say about the nature of politics today? Does his advice still hold weight, or has it been relegated to the dustbin of history? Let's begin our journey into the heart of The Prince, where Machiavelli's vision of politics might just alter the way you view power forever. Before we embark on this intellectual journey through the pages of history, I want to take a moment to welcome you to the Unfolding Journey YouTube channel. Whether you are a seasoned student of political theory or a curious newcomer, this channel is dedicated to exploring the complex, ever-changing world of ideas, philosophy, and human nature. Together, we'll explore timeless works, intriguing theories, and fresh perspectives that continue to shape the world around us. So, if you're ready to dive deep into history's most powerful ideas and learn from them, you've come to the right place. Let's get started. Niccolò Machiavelli's The Prince is a political treatise written in 1513, yet its relevance continues to echo through centuries of political thought. Often regarded as one of the most influential works of political theory, it offers a stark, unapologetic perspective on the art of governance, political strategy, and human nature. However, to understand the true essence of Machiavelli's thought, one must first recognize the political climate in which he wrote. The early 16th century was a time of political fragmentation and instability in Italy. Numerous city-states, each ruled by powerful families, competed for dominance, while external forces, such as the French and Spanish, frequently intervened in Italian affairs. Amidst this chaotic environment, Machiavelli sought to offer a pragmatic guide to political power, devoid of idealism or moralistic considerations. Machiavelli's view on power. At the core of Machiavelli's The Prince is his unflinching belief that the ultimate goal of any ruler is the acquisition and maintenance of power. He is often seen as advocating for the ruthless pursuit of this power, but this view may be an oversimplification. Machiavelli's political realism is rooted in the belief that politics is not a realm governed by ideals, but by real-world challenges. The political arena, according to Machiavelli, is one where strength, cunning, and opportunism reign supreme. In the opening chapters of The Prince, Machiavelli distinguishes between different types of states, such as republics and monarchies, and elaborates on the ways in which power can be acquired and maintained. He advises rulers to understand the nature of their power, emphasizing that a prince's fortune and success depend on both their abilities and their ability to navigate the complexities of human nature. Unlike idealist philosophers who argue that rulers should be virtuous or just, Machiavelli posits that a ruler should be guided by the necessity of preserving their power, whatever it takes. The concept of virtue, in Machiavelli's work is closely tied to the ability to act decisively in moments of crisis, to manipulate circumstances to one's advantage, and to do whatever is necessary to secure political dominance. This virtue is not about moral goodness, but rather the ability to shape one's fate in a world that is inherently uncertain and unpredictable. Machiavelli's emphasis on virtue underscores his deep cynicism about human nature. He believes that people are inherently self-interested, fickle, and unreliable. This view of human nature is central to his conception of power. One of the most contentious aspects of The Prince is Machiavelli's assertion that the ends justify the means. For many readers, this phrase epitomizes his purported cynicism, as it seems to suggest that any action, no matter how unethical or immoral, is permissible if it leads to the desired outcome, the maintenance of power. This principle, however, is not a blanket endorsement of tyranny or cruelty. Instead, Machiavelli argues that in a world where power dynamics are constantly shifting, rulers must be willing to adapt to changing circumstances and act decisively. In some situations, this may involve cruelty or deception, but in others, it might require generosity, diplomacy, or even feigned weakness. The key is to be flexible, pragmatic, and able to choose the right tactic for the right moment. However, Machiavelli is also clear about the consequences of certain actions. A ruler may use cruelty or deception to achieve their ends, but they must also be cautious about how they maintain that power. If a ruler is too harsh or manipulative, they risk inciting rebellion or alienating the people. As such, Machiavelli advocates for rulers to balance their ruthlessness with a careful attention to their public image and the welfare of their subjects. This balance between power and popularity is one of the most challenging aspects of governance and requires a ruler to possess both practical intelligence and emotional acumen. One of the key criticisms leveled against Machiavelli is that his work undermines traditional moral and ethical principles. For centuries, political theorists had been guided by Christian ideals of justice, virtue, and the common good, but Machiavelli rejected these ideals in favor of a more pragmatic approach to politics. In his view, political leaders should not be bound by abstract moral standards, but should instead focus on the concrete realities of governing. Machiavelli's rejection of traditional morality is evident in his advice to rulers on how to behave in various circumstances. He counsels that a prince must be prepared to act against the moral code when necessary. For example, he famously argues that a ruler should not hesitate to break promises or deceive others if doing so serves the greater good of preserving their power. This advice seems to contradict conventional ethical teachings, which emphasize the importance of honesty, integrity, and loyalty. However, Machiavelli's pragmatism challenges us to think more critically about the relationship between ethics and power. Yet, it is important to note that Machiavelli does not completely dismiss morality. Rather, he redefines it in the context of political necessity. The ruler's primary moral responsibility, according to Machiavelli, is to maintain the stability of the state and protect the interests of the people. In this sense, his view of morality is utilitarian, focused on the greatest good for the greatest number. While he may not prescribe ethical behavior in the traditional sense, his concern for the state's stability reflects a deep understanding of the importance of governance for societal well-being. Despite the controversy surrounding Machiavelli's ideas, his influence on modern political thought cannot be overstated. His emphasis on pragmatism, political calculation, and the manipulation of public opinion has shaped the way political leaders and strategists approach governance. Whether it is in the cutthroat world of modern electioneering or the strategic maneuvers of international diplomacy, Machiavelli's ideas continue to inform the actions of those in power. In the 20th century, thinkers such as Friedrich Nietzsche and Carl Schmitt drew on Machiavelli's insights to develop their own theories of power. More recently, political analysts and leaders have referenced Machiavelli to understand the dynamics of power in the modern era. His influence extends beyond the realm of political theory, as his ideas about power, strategy, and human nature have been incorporated into fields as diverse as business, military strategy, and psychology. However, Machiavelli's legacy remains a point of contention. While some praise his pragmatic, no-nonsense approach to politics, others see his ideas as a dangerous endorsement of authoritarianism and manipulation. His work has sparked debates about the relationship between ethics and power, as well as the moral responsibilities of rulers in a complex world. What is clear, however, is that Machiavelli's vision of politics remains as relevant today as it was in the 16th century. As we conclude our journey through the complex political landscape painted by Machiavelli The Prince, it is clear that his ideas on power, morality, and human nature continue to resonate in contemporary political thought. Far from being a mere advocate of ruthless tyranny, Machiavelli's The Prince offers a sobering and pragmatic view of the world, a world in which power is not freely given but must be fought for, maintained, and, at times, manipulated. His realism offers a lens through which we can examine not only the politics of his time, but also the politics of our own era. Machiavelli's ideas may be uncomfortable, but they are undeniably compelling. They challenge us to reconsider our notions of ethics and leadership, urging us to look beyond the idealistic facade of politics and confront the harsh realities that shape political life. Whether we agree with his conclusions or not, Machiavelli's work invites us to engage critically with the world of power, where moral considerations often take a backseat to the exigencies of survival and success. If you found this exploration of Machiavelli's The Prince thought-provoking and want to dive deeper into more ideas that shape our world, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Join the Unfolding Journey community as we continue to unravel the complexities of history, politics, and philosophy. Let's explore together and learn from the past to understand our present and our future. Subscribe now, and let's keep the journey unfolding.